Before your own star, the sun, the one you call the sun, your mother star had to die. Your mother star ripped herself apart in a massive explosion called a supernova. Tiny specks of carbon, oxygen, calcium, and all the other new building blocks she made blasted into space and cooled into stardust. Her stardust was the same stardust that would one day come together to create you. You see, Earthling, you are made of stardust. Every bit of it exploded from your ancient mother star who no longer lives. Inside the cloud of stardust, a little gravity tugged from each speck, making them gently stick together in little clumps. The little clumps clumped together into bigger clumps. The bigger clumps crashed into each other and stayed together. They swirled into a disc shape, faster and faster, hotter and denser, tighter and brighter, until finally, whoosh! Your sun flared into life. Born too from clumps of stardust were 9 young planetary pups. The planets tagged along after Father Sun, but they were smaller and had no light of their own. Planets depend on the sun's generosity, just as human children depend on their parents for food and shelter. Oh, how I, the universe, delighted as your sun sent light and warmth to its planets. The sun is not alone. It has a family that rotates around it and other assorted celestial objects. Moons, comets, meteors. They're all part of our solar system. Mercury. Mercury is the first and smallest planet. Its year, or one full trip around the sun, is only 88 days. Because it rotates on its axis slowly, its single day is longer than its year. One side faces the sun for almost the entire orbit. Mercury is similar in appearance to Earth's moon. It has a smooth surface punctuated by craters. Because it has no atmosphere, the side facing the sun is fiercely hot, and the side facing away from the sun is frigidly cold. Venus. This planet is the second closest to the sun and appears brighter in the sky than any other planet or star. Because it is closer to the sun than the Earth, it is always close to the sun in the sky. It is brightest before sunrise and after sunset, so it is known as the morning star or the evening star. Also contributing to its brightness are clouds that reflect more than half of the sunlight. But on Venus, the clouds are not made of water droplets like on Earth. No, they're made of sulfuric acid. The sulfuric acid traps heat inside of the planet, making it the hottest planet in the solar system. Earth. Earth is the third planet from the sun. Earth might have been named ocean or water. That's because Earth is the only planet in the solar system with large amounts of liquid water on its surface and in its atmosphere. If the sun were much closer, the seas would surely boil away. If the sun were farther, the water would freeze over. But luckily, the sun is just the right distance for life to exist on Earth. As far as we know, Earth is the only planet that has living things. Earth is circled by a protective blanket of air called the atmosphere, which helps keep the temperatures fairly steady. Mars. Mars is the fourth planet from the sun and is named after the Roman god Mars, the Roman god of war. Mars is sometimes called the red planet because of its reddish appearance, which is due to iron oxide on its surface. Several rovers have been sent to explore the surface of Mars. Mars can be seen from Earth without a telescope, and it is about an eighth of the size of Earth in mass and volume. Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. It is 2.5 times as big as all of the other planets combined. Jupiter is the first of the 4 gas giants and is named after the Roman god Jupiter. When viewed from Earth, Jupiter is the 3rd brightest object in the night sky after our moon and Venus. Jupiter is composed mostly of hydrogen and helium and may have a rocky core. It rotates very fast, which causes it to bulge in the middle. Jupiter is continually covered in clouds made of ammonia and contains a storm larger than the entire planet Earth, called the Great Red Spot. Saturn. Saturn is the 6th planet from the Sun. It was named after the Roman god Saturnus, where we get the word Saturday, and is composed mainly of helium. It is the 2nd of the gas giants. Saturn has distinctive rings that are 10 miles thick, primarily consisting of ice. It has 61 moons, including Titan, its largest moon. Titan is larger than the planet Mercury. Uranus. Uranus, the 7th planet from the Sun, is also the 3rd largest planet in our solar system. It is the 3rd of the gas giants. It is named after the Greek god of the sky. Though visible from Earth without a telescope, ancient astronomers thought it was not a planet because of its dimness and slow orbit. In fact, Uranus rotates north and south, almost as you would picture a ball rolling down a hill instead of a globe rotating on its axis. Uranus is different in comparison from Jupiter and Saturn, but is similar to Neptune, so they are called the ice giants. It, in fact, has rings, not as visible as Saturn, and numerous moons, and it is unique among the planets because it rotates sideways in relation to the Sun. Neptune. Named for the Roman god of the sea, Neptune is the 8th planet from the Sun. Its atmosphere is mostly hydrogen and helium, with some methane which gives it a light blue color. Its interior is mostly ice and rock. Neptune's atmosphere has active and visible weather patterns, including a great dark spot similar to the Great Red Spot on Jupiter. The surface of Neptune is one of the coldest in the solar system, but the inner core of the planet is similar in temperature to the surface of the Sun. This is our Sun. The first planet on its inner orbit is Mercury. We heard it looks very similar to our moon. The second planet, Venus. Similar in size and shape to Earth, but fiercely hot. The third planet, and the one we call home, planet Earth. The fourth planet is Mars, often called the red planet because of the iron oxide on the surface, similar to the color of rust, which you might see on old pieces of metal, maybe on your car. The fifth planet and the largest, Jupiter. Jupiter is so large that all of the planets combined times 2.5 would fit inside of Jupiter. The sixth, and perhaps the most distinctive looking planet, Saturn, with its beautiful rings made of floating ice crystals. Our seventh planet, with its interesting sideways rotation, Uranus. And on the eighth and outermost orbit of our sun, we have the planet Neptune, one of the coldest places that we know of in our solar system. Good morning, everyone. That was an initial presentation of our solar system. Now, I have many fun activities that you could do to learn the names, the order, and as much information as you are interested in about our solar system. So the first activity that I have available for you, and I'm going to turn on the other light because it's a little dark in here, so give me one moment. That's much better. The first activity is a sheet, which shows both our sun and its orbitals. You could color this, label it. I would highly encourage you to do that labeling in cursive, and maybe to think about what the color of this background might look like. This is an activity that everybody could engage in, old or young. The second activity is what I have called the ordinal numbers orbit. Ordinal numbers has to do with the order of things: first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. So, you heard me use many ordinal numbers as I described the location of our planets in our solar system. Mercury, first. Mars, fourth. Saturn, sixth. Earlier in the year, both classes did an ordinal numbers parade. Well, every day, our solar system is in the middle of an ordinal numbers parade. Perhaps you could make a picture with a picture of the planet. You could get some yarn and tie it around your neck. And maybe you could make a solar system ordinal parade around your house. Don't have enough people? Well, that's okay. Maybe instead you could write sentences. The first planet is Mercury. The second planet is Venus. The third planet is Earth. In the folder for this document, there are pictures of our three-part cards, which you saw on the presentation rug. You could print those out, put them in order, and then write your ordinal numbers orbit. The third activity that I have is listen to Born with a Bang. At the beginning of the presentation, when the lights were off and you only heard my voice, I was reading to you from a section of Born with a Bang. Born with a Bang is one of our favorite stories in the classroom. It's from the perspective of the universe, and the universe tells its cosmic story. If you enjoyed that story, and even just the very beautiful artwork on each page, give it a listen. I will record myself reading it, and I will also include the pictures because they are very inspiring. As you listen to that, maybe you could put together a watercolor painting to represent when the solar system came into existence. I'm trying to find the page really quickly. Here we go. Maybe you could make your own representation of this, or maybe you have a different image in mind. Either way. The fourth option I have for you involves researching your favorite planet and then showing what you've learned. In the folder for this work, I've also included this sheet, which shows the planets in order, talks about the distance from the sun, has a little bit more information for your research. There's also another informational sheet with information on each planet as well. Now, just like our research in the classroom, you are not limited to the resources we provide you. You can absolutely find additional resources, read them, take out the information that you found interesting, put it in your own words. Remember, paraphrasing is an important skill we're working on. We don't want to steal words from another author. And once you've collected all of that information, go ahead and go through that research process that we've practiced in the classroom. Collect your facts, organize your facts, write a rough draft, have a peer, or in this case, most likely your parent, edit a version of your rough draft, rewrite, send a version to Miss Garland or myself. We'll help you with an adult edit as well. And then finally, make that final draft and publish it. Maybe send a picture of it to family members. Send it to Miss Garland or I. Maybe you record a version of yourself presenting it to the class just like you would in sharing, just like I'm doing right now with this camera. And my fifth and I think most fun activity for this is a planet distance activity. This activity will require a large space. I would recommend outdoors, as today is supposed to be a beautiful day outside, perhaps the warmest day we've had since our first day off. For this, you will need to choose something to represent the sun. A basketball, a soccer ball, a volleyball, anything that you would like to represent the sun. And then you're going to place that on one end, maybe of your yard, maybe on one end of the soccer field that's near your house, maybe on one end of the giant field by the school that's at your house. You will need a large space. The space will need to be as long as going from the end of Dogwood with the reading loft all the way to the other end of Silver Maple. You need a space that is that long to do this activity unless you're going to do some division, in which case I've given your parents instructions on how to help you with that. Once you've found a space suitable for this activity, you'll place your sun on one end. Imagine you're in Dogwood. You could put it next to Herman's cage. Now you're going to need not 8 markers. Could be a popsicle stick. Could be a stick you've collected from your yard. 8 things that you're going to mark each planet with. For our first planet, Mercury, you'll take a few steps, mark it. You'll take a few more steps, mark Venus. A few more steps, mark Earth. And you will go until you get to the outer edge of our solar system, Neptune. Once you have from your sun all the way to Neptune and every other planet in the middle marked out, now the physical activity begins. You could consider this a sweat with Mr. O activity. Starting from the sun, run to your first stick and back. And then to your second stick and back, and third stick and back, and fourth stick and back, and fifth stick and back, and sixth stick and back, and seventh stick and back, and eighth stick and back. It might not seem like a lot right now, but just wait till you see how far Neptune is from your sun in this activity. Perhaps you can't do all 8 legs of that relay in a row. If you can't, that's okay. You should listen to your body when your body is telling you, I need a pause, I need a break. If your body needs that break, take it. One thing to do when you're out of breath, put your hands over your head. This opens up your passageway from your nose and mouth into your lungs. You'll get more oxygen. Take those deep breaths. Don't lay down. Don't put your head below your heart. Stay upright. Take those breaths. And when you're ready to make that next run, go ahead and do so. All right? Those are the 5 activities, but please don't be limited by my ideas. If in the middle of this presentation something else came to your mind and you would like to do so, do so. Your creativity is often so much more creative than mine and Miss Garland's. So take it, run with it. If you enjoyed this presentation, feel free to watch it a second time, a third time. Feel free to share it with friends, family. All right. Happy Wednesday.